What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Mr. Random, and welcome to the review of my 1993 Nissan Sentra SE-R. A lot of you guys might know this one by the name of Snowflake, so without further ado, let's get right into the video. And you are looking at the body of a 1993 Nissan Sentra SE-R. Now this platform did come with a front wheel drive, it was not rear wheel drive, and the car currently weighs about 2,300 pounds. The trunk area was completely stripped and the entire upper panel was stripped as well. Now there's a couple different things about this Sentra that's separated from its stock form, and we're going to try to cover as much of that as possible in today's video. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get under the hood and get that out of the way. Now this car was put together with the help of my friend Roy. He's known to fix up these Sentras here in the United States for quite a lot of different people. Like I said in one of my introduction videos, I don't really have the time and the tools to work on engines, like actual engines, like lift out engines of cars, stuff like that. Now these cars are incredibly popular in South America, in the Philippines, in Indonesia, in Mexico. These cars are very, very popular. But here in the United States, believe it or not, this car is actually incredibly rare, and I'm going to touch base on that later on in the video. But first, let's just jump right into the engine of this car. All right, and right off the bat, you guys are looking at a Nissan SR20 DE engine. Now this car did come with a B13 engine, however that was swapped for a B14 engine from a 1998 200 SX. Now the engine is actually producing somewhere around 170 horsepower, and it only has some very light modifications done to it. So far we've only done two modifications to the engines. Number one is we got 421 headers installed, and the second thing is we got a cold air intake installed as well. Now just for shits and giggles, we did add this upper sway bar up here on the top. And if you guys can see, there's kind of like wires and cables everywhere. I mean, take a look at the battery. There's cables zip tied everywhere and stuff like that. We tried going for a wire tuck kind of look to clean up the engine bay, but none of us knew exactly what the fuck we were doing. So yeah, that's why we kind of got this thing being held up by a freaking zip tie. And that's gonna have to get fixed up eventually, but for the most part, all we got is the headers. We got the cold air intake, and that is about it. The car right now, like I said, it is pushing around 165, maybe 170 horsepower. But believe it or not, that is quite enough to make this car move. Remember, this car only weighs 2,300 pounds. This car, as it sits right now, has beat a Ford Crown Victoria, and it beat by half a car a Daytona Charger, like a 2008 Daytona Charger with a 5.7 liter Hemi. And that's only with an 170 horsepower car. Obviously it doesn't weigh anything, but the future plans for this car is to boost it. I'm going to add a very small turbo, something light, something nice, a very small amount of boost. I just want it to I want maybe 250 horsepower, nothing crazy, because this car as it sits already gets up and goes. Obviously we got this messy ass hood. I've been trying to look for a better hood, maybe a vented hood, but finding parts for these cars here in the US is freaking hard. It's a mission. Like I said, these cars are incredibly rare here in the US. You barely see any of them at all. Right now the car is riding on coilovers. However, not a lot of people have told me that the car isn't sitting low enough. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? I think it has a good stance right there where it is, but it could probably go a little bit lower. It's also sitting on a pair of rough rims. As you guys can see, I did do a video on that as well, and we painted the brake calipers red, you know, just to give it that little bit of extra flair. Everything else is pretty much standard SE-R, and we do have the catless straight piped J exhaust. This thing is ear-splittingly loud, guys. This thing is like, you gotta literally cover your ears when you drive this car sometimes. When you accelerate, it's so loud. I want you guys to go ahead and take a look under and see for yourself. Now, my absolute favorite part about this exhaust is that it actually shoots flames. I love just pulling up next to people and revving the shit out of it and just flames start coming out. And the looks I get are completely ridiculous. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, now to talk about the interior of this car. You guys need to keep in mind, this is 1990s hot hatch. So, you know, it's a very small, sporty, compact car. You're not gonna get some of the most luxurious things. Actually, this is probably one of the most uncomfortable cars I've ever ridden on. This part of the window doesn't work. We got a crank window over here. I do have a pull-out NRG Racing steering wheel installed. Let's just go ahead and pull that out real quick. And the steering wheel just comes right off like that. So yeah, that's always pretty cool. You know, you can't go wrong with that. Like I said, this car is Frankenstein. It has some pieces from 200 SXs, and it does have some pieces from the original B13 SE-R. The car was involved in a crash, so we had to replace the dash cluster here. So this one's from a regular Sentra. Those aren't the actual miles on the car. The car's engine is currently sitting at about 100,000 miles. We got the boost gauge there because, like I said, the car is going to get turboed. We have the regular battery voltage and the oil PSI. Now the car, we wired it to have a custom switch to turn on the fan. You know, just a lot easier to work with that. And then we just flip it on like that at the flip of a switch. So I always thought that was pretty cool. We do have a short shifter installed as well. This thing shifts very, very smooth, very easy to go through these gears, guys. And like I said, you know, take a look at the interior. It's not the world's best, but you know, it's maintained for being a 20-something-year-old car. You know, we'll go ahead and take a look at the back. Now, believe it or not, there's actually plenty of space in that back seat. Although this car is very small, it does provide plenty of space back there, man. When I sit back here, it's super comfortable. Man, this thing is just so underrated and it's so powerful. This SR20 motor just loves to rev so much, man. This thing goes up to 7,500 RPMs, and it just wants to keep going. If there was no rev limiter there, that thing would just go all the fucking way, man. This car loves to rev. Like I said, we did remove the upper panel here. Let's go ahead and crank this thing up and let's go for a little test drive, shall we? Oh yeah, baby. Listen to that thing, man. Listen to that thing. All right, now it's gonna be a little bit hard for you guys to hear me because like I said, this car is incredibly loud. Now, if you guys see me struggling with the steering, it's because there's no power steering. The car does not have power steering, and also it does not have air conditioning. So yeah, I got to deal with that. The power steering was removed on purpose for weight reduction. So was the air conditioning. The entire air conditioning unit was removed as well. Man, this thing is so freaking loud. But it doesn't take away from the fun factor, man. This car is so fun to drive. People talk about the Miata. They talk about how that car feels like a go-kart and all that. But if you really want to feel like you're driving a go-kart, you should drive a Nissan Sentra SE-R, man. This thing is a freaking blast to drive. The car feels like it's completely weightless. And believe it or not, the handling is actually really, really good. So we got a clear road. I'm gonna show you guys just how loud it is. Oh, here we go. Oh my God. Oh my God, this car is so freaking loud. All right, here, we're gonna put it into third gear and we're gonna do a pull. Oh my God. You guys heard that backfire? Holy shit. Yeah, I told you, man, this car backfires like crazy. It's incredibly rev happy. The higher in RPMs you take this car, the happier it is, the more it wants it. It loves the punishment. And that's why this car is such a freaking blast to drive. All right, here we go. We're gonna do one more pull because there's no way I can sit in this car. All right, guys, this car is so loud that it's almost impossible to sit here and do a review without having to scream my lungs out and talk to you guys. So we're gonna take it to some nice shots of the car here by Key Biscayne Beach, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the review. When the SE-R debuted, it was compared to the BMW 2002 and the Datsun 510, both cars considered classics today. There's a reason for that. The SE-R's head designer, Koichi Yasui, was an avid Datsun 510 fan and owner. He wanted the Sentra SE-R to perform similarly to his own true love, his Datsun 510. The Nissan SE-R has a really high redline of 7,500 RPM. And to keep all that power on the road, it has a limited slip differential. That small engine only needs to move around 2,300 pounds. Today, the only lighter, affordable car is a 2016 Mazda Miata. The Nissan Sentra SE-R is the first and only car to win a Car and Driver 10 Best trophy for its complete span of production. Similar to the Chicago Bulls, it took home wins in 1991, 92, 93, and 94. It's not perfect, but the Nissan Sentra SE-R, in my unbiased opinion, is a car to buy right now, and it's sure to be a future classic. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed my Nissan Sentra, aka Snowflake. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to give the video a like. Make sure to comment in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? Is the car nice? Is it nice? What do you guys think? I am out of here. There's an FHP trooper in front of me. Peace out.
These bitches be hating on me, but that ain't my problem. They wasted time trying to comment on my few pack out in commas. Behind my back, stick this. In my face, act friendly. Don't pretend to be like a friend of me. I dare that shit physically. I'm that nigga you wanna be. Y'all mini-me's, that friend of me. Same lame as I wanna know how you get your money. What's the secret recipe? Walk a mile in my shoes, you ain't built for it. I dared you, dude. Have my